can't believe that I've been doing this mini-series now for a year, because the first one that I ever did of these was the 6 movies that I wanted to prioritise in summer last year. Or as I kind of think of this mini-series, the unofficial Hordes of Horror seasonal movie watching club, because I know that there are quite a few of you out there that actually enjoy watching these movies along with me, so we can all comment away in the comments section. So consider it as the unofficial movie club, like, so you know what's coming up at some point in June, July and August. The UK does not feel summery at all whatsoever right now, because the day that I'm filming this, which is Thursday, the video will go live tomorrow on Friday, we are currently having a windstorm and it's about 14 degrees here, hence why I have turned up looking like Rainbow Bright from the 90s today, because obviously June is Pride Month and I couldn't resist the opportunity to not wear the fabulous rainbow sweater in my wardrobe, so here we go. So without further ado, I'm going to stop waffling and we're going to talk about the 6 movies that I'm going to prioritise watching in summer, aka June, July and August. Aquarium of the Dead from 2021 is a zombie horror comedy. When a virus infects a California aquarium's dead marine life and turns them into zombies, the aquarium's employees must fight the creatures to prevent them from wreaking havoc in the wild. Now I know what you're all thinking. You're thinking, this looks terrible, but let me state the obvious. You don't watch me because I pick cinematic masterpieces to watch. You watch me because I pick garbage like this that we can all watch and have a giggle at and pull it to pieces because it might actually be so bad that it's actually kinda good. And I'm hoping that that's what Aquarium of the Dead happens to turn out to be. Plus, there is a ginormous zombie octopus in this, which may or may not have been a selling point for me. This is about a whole aquarium turning into zombie fish, and there is a random zombie walrus in this. Why the aquarium has a zombie walrus? I have no idea, because to me that would say zoo rather than aquarium, which does bring me on to the fact nicely that this is actually a spin-off in the world of Zombies. Now, you do not need to have seen Zombies or Zombies 2 in order to enjoy this one, but if you haven't seen Zombies, the first one is so bad, it is actually hilarious. The gorilla in that first movie is everything. So if you've not seen Zombies and you want something that is just so terrible that you can laugh at, like order a pizza, have your friends around, watch Zombies. It's so bad. It's actually hilarious. And this one also happens to star, of all people, Vivica A. Fox. And I have no idea how they managed to bag her for this movie, because is it like any kind of like classic, like, it's not going to win any awards, let's put it that way. It might win a raspberry, but that's about it. So I'm curious as to what in the script she read and went, you know what? I want to be part of this.
How much money we talking?
Beast from 2022 is a survival action horror. Recently widowed Dr. Nate Daniels and his 2 teenage daughters travel to a South African game reserve managed by Martin Battles, an old family friend and wildlife biologist. However, what begins as a journey of healing soon turns into a fearsome fight for survival when a lion, who is the survivor of bloodthirsty poachers, begins to stalk them. I think I've only ever seen one other horror movie about a lion, and that is Prey/Uncaged from 2016. So this is something completely different from my channel because we've never done anything that's like a big cats sort of movie. But I am also the sort of person that believes if you shoot animals for sport or for entertainment, it's different if you are somebody who is shooting a deer to feed your family. Like, I don't have problems with that. If you are a rich, posh white man who has paid a redonkulous amount of cash to sit in a jeep and shoot endangered animals for sport, you deserve to get mauled to death by a lion or a cheetah, and I said what I said. Now, this is what happens when animals in the wild are victims of poachers. They then become very untrustful of absolutely everybody, including the people who are trying to save them. I get it. If you were an animal and posh white men kept shooting at you, you'd try and maul them to death as well. But I thought, you know, summer, lovely hot weather, let's go to a nice hot country. Africa sounds great. Lots of people when you're a kid dream of going on a safari holiday so you can go and look at zebras and rhinos and everything. So it feels right to be watching this one in summer. And it's got Idris Elba in it. And he's an actor that I am always going to put faith into. Bait from 2012 is an Australian disaster action horror. A group of people get trapped in a supermarket after a tsunami hits the coast of Queensland, Australia, but they soon find that they have more to worry about than being in a flooded grocery store when 12-foot great white sharks start swimming around them. When it comes to the world of creature movies, I often dwell in the world of crocs and gators, so I am very familiar with that kind of thing. But sharks is another first here on my channel, and all I can say is, if anybody is gonna do sharks justice, it's gonna be Australia. I trust them with sharks and alligators, and so far, they've not proved me wrong with alligators. What can I say? The idea of sharks in a supermarket, a grocery store, for my Americans out there, it sounds great. This gives me Dawn of the Dead with a shark instead of zombies, meets The Mist with a tsunami, and I'm not mad at any of these things. This also is the first shark movie that I'll be reviewing on my channel, and let's just say I've decided to not go with my usual absolute garbage for a starting point and gone for this one instead, because anything is better than Sharknado or House Shark, and if you have never seen House Shark, it is the weirdest, wildest, most insane shark movie that you will ever see, and it happens to have estate agents in it, which are people that I do not trust. If anybody's going to try and sell you something that is garbage, it's an estate agent.
Scooby-Doo, take note.
I enjoy disaster movies, it's just not a subgenre that I tend to delve into very often. I think the last one that I watched was Crawl from 2023, and that wasn't bad. So, what can I say? It's given me an excuse to delve into the world of disaster horror again. Sea Fever from 2019 is a sci-fi horror. Marine biology student Siobhan is out on a research excursion with a trawler crew fishing in the West Irish Seas. They must struggle for survival after they develop an infection due to a mysterious ocean organism growing in their water supply. You know me, I love a science-based movie, and when I heard the description for this movie, it reminds me of a mashup of The Bay, which is one of the very few found footage movies that I actually really enjoyed, with the same sort of isolated feel as The Thing if it was set in the middle of an ocean rather than up in the Arctic. So we're going for something a little bit different with this one, because while I watched The Thing here on my channel and I can appreciate all its practical effects, it just wasn't for me. So I'm hoping if you give me Massive Parasites, this might be a little bit more up my alley, because Massive Parasites from Earth are far more appealing to me than Massive Parasites from space.
Science.
There is also, on one of the posters, a massive red tentacle monster thing, and this appeals to me on so many levels because I need to know what this thing is. Like, it looks like more than an octopus, it looks like more than a squid. We've already got an octopus on this, it's in Aquarium of the Dead, because giant zombie octopus trumps just enormous octopus in general. But is it Cthulhu? Is this gonna be like cosmic horror inspired? I have no idea. But the tentacles glow, because there's even pictures on the other posters that show them glowing, so I now need to find out what the hell this thing is, as this like isolated trawler gets stranded in the middle of the ocean and there is no hope for them on the horizon. Like, literally, you look at the horizon, dead. Piranha 3D from 2010 is a horror comedy. After a sudden underwater tremor sets free scores of prehistoric man-eating fish, an unlikely group of strangers must band together to stop themselves from becoming fish food for the area's new razor-toothed residents. Swimwear, 2010s music, and murderous fish. Sounds like a great time to me for this one. I just wanted something that doesn't take itself too seriously, but feels kind of summery. And that is exactly what I got from the description of Piranha 3D. Like, I know that this is a reboot, remake, it's one of them, from a movie from the 1970s. Have I seen the original? No. Am I going to watch the original? Probably not. If your movie is made before like 1982, I'm probably not going to watch it because the style of acting just really doesn't do anything for me. But the new version, like that certainly appeals to me, and it looks ridiculous. It's campy, it's blood-soaked, it looks like a good time. And at one point, this movie actually held the record for the most blood used in a horror movie. This had 80,000 gallons of fake blood. It was only beaten, I believe, 3 years later by the Evil Dead reboot from 2013. And all I can say is I'm down for that. You give me buckets and buckets of blood, like, sign me up. I also know that this movie happens to star Kelly Brook, who is a model turned actress, and Riley Steele, who is an actress more probably well known for mattress sports, to keep this in YouTube friendly terms. They are both in this movie, and as it's Pride Month, I had to chuck this one in because apparently there's a kiss between these two ladies, and ladies who like ladies is never a bad thing here on my channel either. Summer of '84 from 2018 is a horror mystery. After suspecting that their police officer neighbour is a serial killer, a group of teenage friends spend their summer spying on him and gathering evidence. But as they get closer to discovering the truth, things get dangerous. One of you here within the Horde has been asking me to watch this movie since last year, and it just felt right that now it's summertime, I can bust this one finally out. Horror mysteries I have a love-hate relationship with, simply because in a horror mystery that's a whodunit, once you know the whodunit, it's not the same when it comes to a rewatch because you spend the entire time watching the person who done it and trying to see any like loopholes and where they disappear off to and that sort of thing. And I kind of don't get the enjoyment out of that one. But this one appeals to me for a different reason, because I love movies that are rooted in real life facts and events, and this movie happens to include the Kids on the Milk Carton campaign, which ran in the US from the 80s and 90s. And it's a little bit controversial because, let's just say out of the literal thousands of kids that appeared on the milk cartons, only 200 of them were ever found. And only 2 of those were still alive.
Are you serious?
I love doing the research. I love finding out like the real things that happened behind movies and giving you all the information. Like, I would love to do a mini series here on my channel where I break down the real facts behind fiction of movies. I just haven't actually plucked up the courage to do so yet because I know that they're going to take a little bit more time to piece together, but I have a movie in mind, and if you want me to do video essays like breaking down and dissecting movies and telling you what everything behind them actually means, like, let me know in the comments because I would love to do it. It's just, I need the courage to actually do it. This one is also a coming of age movie, so all our heroes and protagonists are a little bit younger in this. I believe they're sort of like 16 to 18, so I'm interested in this because this feels a little bit like if Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Inc. group were like just a tiny bit younger, and rather than finding a man in a mask, they were trying to find their friend that had gone missing, and the neighbour is the #1 suspect. So there you have it, the 6 movies that I want to prioritise watching here on my channel throughout summer, June, July and August, and I will always put up on my community page as well as at the end of a previous video what the next movie is going to be, so if you do want to watch any of these, there will be a little bit of time for everybody to go out and watch them. But I want to quickly add in just a little bit of an update here at the end, because back in my Q&A video, I mentioned about possibly doing a list of LGBTQ+ horror movies, and my original plan was to have that list up in June, but it has kind of gone from a small list of 8 movies to an astronomical list where I could put that list together at least 3 times, so that list will still be coming, but it will not be in June. It will be at some point over summer as well, so you've got that to look forward to. I do have 2 recommendations videos also in the works, so there is plenty also coming throughout the summer. And Netflix just announced, not Netflix, Shudder just announced the new movie that I'm interested in, and I will pop its poster up here, so keep an eye out for that one as well, because Asian horror is absolutely my thing, and its trailer looks really good. Very quickly as well, if you follow me over on Patreon, you will already know that I have finished watching Elevator over there. All 7 episodes from the first season are live over there now. So there is at least 6 hours of bonus content over on my Patreon at this point. But if you didn't see, we are actually moving on to Living for the Dead, which is a reality TV show which follows queer ghost hunters. So it felt nice to tie this one on, and it's starting in June. It feels right. I'm going to stop waffling now. If you would like to know where else you can find me, I'm also over on Instagram and Letterboxd at Hordes of Horror, where I post every single horror movie that I watch, not just the ones that I talk about here on YouTube. But speaking of YouTube, I'll be back on Monday with a solo movie review from this list. And because it's June, we're starting with Piranha, because we're going to have some representation of ladies that like ladies. And I kind of just want to watch people get torn to shred by killer fish and loads of blood. So until next time, bye. A special thank you to my regenerators here within the Horde for their support over on Patreon.